with the Russian-Ukrainian NATO dynamic, because I know a lot of people have put their faith in Trump changing everything. And to me, that is like pie in the sky, because there's such a well-oiled cog of a machine behind the scenes that continues to prevent any meaningful policy changes towards Russia, China, or the global South. Where do you think we're headed with the Ukrainian conflict, especially now because you have Trump in office and then you have the front lines collapsing everywhere?
Yeah, it's an extremely important question right now, and like you, a lot of people are asking it, and I myself too. And I don't know if anybody has like a convincing, conclusive answer at this point. I see your point. Your point is that there is such a structure established, especially in foreign policy in the United States, call it the blob or the foreign policy deep state or whatever, or just a bureaucracy, that what the president wants ultimately is not really that relevant, right? They will finally somehow absorb that. That's possible. It's possible that in spite of everything he said during the campaign, he will make some moves about finding a compromise with Russia, but will not do so resolutely enough, or will not offer the Russians a reasonable deal. And then it will go down and, not be talked about again, except the Russians will be blamed for it fading. That's one possibility. Now, I'm not sure we can predict that. And I'm telling you why, because I think you are totally right that there is a structure there that is unrelentingly aggressive, right, in terms of pursuing what they think are the national interests of the United States. But usually they're mistaken about those, but they're always very aggressive. But it could be that a part of these people have actually genuinely decided that while they want to be very aggressive, Russia isn't the right target, right? Not because they like peace, not because they want to be fairer, not because they want to actually build a good relationship, but because, most of all, they think that they have to concentrate their aggression on China.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them are even still, I'm amazed by this, but they're still dreaming that they can somehow perhaps drive a wedge between Russia and China again, right? And so that play would be try to make a compromise with the Russians, settle that conflict, actually do change policy there, but then somehow also try to unglue the de facto alliance between Russia and China. Russia and China don't call it an alliance, but it is a de facto alliance. Those people might also be important. I personally think that we'll only know within maybe 3 to 6 months. At some point then, we'll be able to tell what Trump really wants and whether he actually matters and whether what he wants matters very much. Mm-hmm. The other thing with Trump is, I have to say, people shouldn't overestimate him personally, right? And I don't say this ironically or just to sort of tear him down, but he's also just not very good at a lot of things. And for instance, he thinks he is, I know, but he isn't actually. It's not true. And he's not good at understanding other countries and other cultures, not at all. And I don't mean this even in the sense of he's not sensitive. Of course he's not sensitive. He's incredibly proud of that, right? I mean it in the sense intellectually, he has a very weak grasp of who is actually dealing with on the other side. I think he has this intuitive respect for Putin. I think that's genuine. But today he tweeted something, he posted something on X that really made me wonder because it was so ill-conceived. It was basically this long post that says, we have to end this conflict, something has to happen, I respect Russia, I respect Putin personally, the Russians helped us win World War II, And because of all of this, I'm ready to do them a favor. That's the word he used, favor, right? And I'm basically telling them that we can wrap this up now, right? You can come to the table and wrap this up with me and have a deal, or everything will get much worse. And back he was to threatening them once again with sanctions and with tariffs. And my sense is that Trump has no idea how Russians react to something like that. And it's very easy to predict. They really don't like it to be talked to in this term, especially not from Americans. That is bringing out every fiber of resistance in their body politic. And if you don't believe me, I've just watched, actually, in the last half hour, their most popular political talk show. 60 Minutes. They also have a 60 Minutes, actually. And they were talking about this post forever, like for 20 minutes and more. And they were shredding it. And they were laughing at him saying that the Russians helped, so the Soviets, right? That they helped the US. Because the Russians know that in Europe, they won the war, right? If they want to be generous, they can say the Americans helped us win the war in Europe, right? Not in Asia. That's a different story. So they were laughing about this, and not in a good way. Then they picked up on the word favor, and they translated it correctly into Russian as одолжение. And they were like, oh, yeah, really? You think you can do us a favor, right? Oh, let's see about that, right? So he just makes them wild that way for very understandable reasons. And if he goes into trying to now deal with Russia in this way, he's gonna get nowhere. They're fighting this war, right or wrong, because they've made up their mind. They're not going to take, I'm gonna say it, shit from the US anymore. And if he starts with the arm twisting, and if he starts with the public arm twisting, right, that's really bad. That's not a minor thing for them. Look, behind closed doors, right, politics can be hard. And if it came to negotiations and he brings his people and Putin brings his people, yeah, these people will have very strong exchanges, right? And they will set conditions to each other and they'll haggle. But you don't do this on a post. It actually matters. And that he did it shows me that he doesn't know where he is. And clearly he still hasn't got good advisors. He still hasn't got them.
So do you think
told you to walk away? That was my first and last mistake. I'm blue without your face. But what can I do? 'Cause I'm just a sinking ship, and you're just a